Hello, and welcome to another update video about Bitcoin. Yeah, Bitcoin moved higher, and that setup that I showed you in the previous video actually worked out nicely, but it's pretty terrible price action of that low there. I think, the current move certainly suggests further that we are here in this white microstructure. And yeah, this wave B pullback there could have been used for a small trade. But again, it's not for everybody. Nevertheless, the price did grind a little bit higher, made a new high, but again, only not, it's not sustaining above 36K. The price reacted to our 1.236 Fibonacci extension level. And this could be the C wave of wave 3. So we're going to dive into the micro count. With that push higher, it certainly has reduced the likelihood of the yellow count, but it's not invalidated. Okay, I mean, this is just a terrible grind here. I mean, that could still turn into a WXY structure. Just have to have it on the chart until we finally get to that sort of $37,600, $700 level there. I did mention to you that I want to see this filled in 5 waves to actually at least that level. It can go higher, but at least that level. Only then I will be happy to really count 5 waves up complete of the recent low here, of this wave 4 low that was potentially completed on Friday the 3rd of November. So basically 2 ideas here, 2 wave counts. Well, one scenario which suggests one more high in wave 5, yeah, but 2 ways to get there. Either the direct pathway that I'm leaning towards, especially with that ready higher now, but I already gave you that sort of small trade setup in the last video actually, or the yellow count, but with that latest high here that has certainly reduced in likelihood, but is obviously not impossible. Certainly we haven't got 5 waves up yet, and therefore we still need to have that on the radar. Yeah, that would simply entail a more complex WXY correction with another WXY, pretty exotic pattern here. Therefore, this certainly has reduced in likelihood, especially given the higher high here. But as I said, they are both part of the same scenario, really. And eventually we should get there here, either from here or from down there. So currently expectations, therefore, are being fulfilled. We've made another high. Another high has been the expectation, but it's not really grinding in an impulsive way, which is okay because we're dealing here likely with a diagonal. Now, in this scenario, we have completed a wave 1 already. That was the high that was made on Sunday, a wave 2 pullback, and this could now be our 3rd wave. Now, in a 3rd wave of a diagonal, let me just double check if the fibs are actually correct or if I need to change something. Might need to make a minor change here. Let me just do that right now. Yeah, so 1 second. So in a 3rd wave of a diagonal. So because this would be the 5th wave, and the 5th wave can be an ending diagonal, and therefore due to that terrible price action, we have to consider that. Take that out and take that out. Yeah, the minimum expectation in a diagonal for a 3rd wave, yeah, is the 1-to-1 ratio. Now that was reached, but we haven't really got clear 3 waves. Now we have with that latest high, but it's still a little bit short, so could get a few squiggles higher. But typically, the 1-to-1 ratio, yeah, that was here at 35,850. But more likely is a move to the 1.236 or 1.38 extension. Possibly even higher, but that is sort of the ideal range, okay? That's 36,160 to 36,350. So we could still move a little higher. Also, that C wave ideally is a little longer than what it is now. Then we can get a wave 4 pullback and then another high in wave 5 and then finally fulfill here the expectations in wave 5. If we dive into the microstructure even further, then we could say that the move up here, would probably be a diagonal in the C wave as well. So basically a diagonal in a diagonal, pretty terrible. And you can actually see 5 waves already, but it is very, very unreliable. So it looks a bit like an ascending broadening wedge here, which is pretty terrible. So that's what I'm watching. But yeah, I can still get a few squiggles higher. And ideally it does that to reach those fips that I mentioned, those ideal Fibonacci levels for that wave 3 before the wave 4 pullback starts, and then ideally gives us a 5th wave. After these 5 waves, we expect a stronger pullback as suggested in previous videos. To give you a better orientation, let's go to the daily chart. For anybody who's new on this channel, I think it's worth doing that with the latest price action. Just to give you an idea of, okay, if we get that deeper pullback, how can we understand that? So first of all, this is the next fib on the daily time frame. That's relevant at 38,270. Not entirely sure if we get there in this 5th wave. We could do. Okay, we could do. To be honest, if we don't go so high, that's even better. Because I mentioned it in my videos over the last few days and weeks. What we don't want is that the price in this move up gets above 43K in a straight line. We want to have that wave 2 pullback, and that's the deep pullback I talked about before breaking above 43K. So I'm happy for it to stop at some point around 38K, maybe just below that. No problem. I just don't want it to go above 43K, because then this has very much the character of an A, B, C structure, which would be bearish and could potentially send us to new lows. No panic if we do that. The bullish count is then not invalidated, but it will certainly reduce in likelihood compared to an ABC structure. So yeah, and ideally we fill in now these 5 waves in wave 5 of 1. And then I will add to the chart the pullback zone for a wave 2, which would be a deep pullback. I would say probably support might form ideally above 30K somewhere. But we'll get there, and when we see that structure, I will add support to the chart. Yeah, that's my update about Bitcoin. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, and please check out the channel membership. As a channel member, you get access to a weekly live stream. Every Sunday we do it. You get access to Discord and Telegram, educational content about trading, Elliott Wave, technical analysis. And as a gold member, you get access to short-term market updates. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional updates. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.